Return my money. It wasn't a give. What do you pilfer? I'm not a thief. It's going to be disconnected since I cancelled my credit card after learning that Towanda had been using it to pay her phone bill. The Braxton sisters are well known in the realm of R&B royalty for their harmony on stage and their pandemonium off. However, the sisterhood hasn't just fallen apart as January 2026 approaches. According to reports, it has turned into a federal crime scene. The atmosphere, the web streets, are yelling the cause for the sudden transition from family drama to legal disaster. According to rumors, Towanda Braxton has been taken into custody and is at the center of a high-stakes FBI investigation that stems from her sister Tamar. We've seen Tamar and Towanda fight over everything from stolen money to stolen boyfriends for years. However, rumors are making the rounds that the Braxton's secret weapon is now up for scrutiny. Tamar approached her when everyone was preoccupied with the Braxton's recent amazing season. A much darker reality involving identity theft, credit card fraud, and federal audits is suggested by the discussion surrounding sisters with cease and desist orders and legal filings. The management trap is the source of this scandal's dramatic tragedy. The feds were supposedly keeping an eye on the paper trail, while the public was preoccupied with the sisterly arguments over Tamar's phone bills and podcasts. Was Tamar trying to protect herself by dragging Towanda into a scandal? Or is Towanda the target of a well-planned family assassination? The Braxton residence's safe haven has vanished, and the receipts are being submitted in court, and the consequences are only getting started. This is more than the plot of a reality program. This betrayal carries a life sentence. The intense rumors surrounding Teyana Taylor and Aaron Pierre's January 2026 breakup are the main focus of this high-stakes, forensic, and cinematic script. The Braxton legal saga's atmosphere changed in a succession of online outbursts that most viewers wrote off as reality TV theatrics rather than in a courtroom. However, as 2026 approached, the commotion changed from small-time arguments to accusations of federal felonies. Reports state that the FBI's entire investigation was sparked by the credit card caper. When Tamar Braxton publicly accused her sister Towanda of stealing her identity and credit lines in order to finance the family's lifestyle, it rocked the internet. Tamar apparently learnt that large energy expenses, including a family phone bill, were being paid with her high-limit American Express cards without her permission. According to rumors, Tamar's own blood was purportedly using her as an endless ATM, while she was off establishing her separate brand. This is the kind of shift you see when a sisterly bond develops into a frightening feeling of deliberate stillness permeates criminal investigations. Tamar has been developing a forensic audit for months, carefully monitoring each swipe and digital transfer, according to sources close to the Braxton's production. According to the reports, the crime may have involved more than a single emergency payment. It concerned the alleged unlawful exploitation of Tamar's identity to get financing for businesses and opulent houses that Tamar was unaware even existed. Towanda's realization that the sister she had considered her best friend has allegedly turned over every text is the ambient terror. Email, as well as delivery to federal authorities. The murmurs are growing louder in Atlanta's streets. Tamar discovered more than simply an unfamiliar charge. She discovered a betrayal that she was unable to forgive. There are rumors that the FBI's involvement was ultimately sparked by the credit card caper. The alleged fraud changed from a family squabble to a federal wire fraud inquiry, because it involved several financial institutions located across state lines. It appears from the discussion that detectives are examining a pattern where the other sisters' failing enterprises are said to have relied on Tamar's credit as a safety net. The revelation that, despite Towanda's public persona as the stable, dependable sibling, the feds were reportedly mapping her financial footprint, is the atmospheric horror of the situation. According to those with knowledge of the matter, the GWAT of the Braxton sisters, was ensnared in a digital trap that she set for herself. The woman who shared her nursery is the main testimony against her. Whispers claim that the narrative remains complex because the betrayal wasn't merely it was personal, not pecuniary. Towanda reportedly responded with a defensive masterclass, accusing Tamar of being paranoid and psychologically disturbed when Tamar confronted her with the court documents. However, the reports imply that there are no feelings on the receipts. According to the rumors, the FBI has created a lookbook of every transaction, revealing a pattern of extravagant spending and bill payments that run counter to Towanda's own bankruptcy claims. With frightening rapidity, the mood changed from a depressing family feud to a real crime documentary. The followers were taken aback when they learned that the harmony they marketed to the world was purportedly a front for fraud at the federal level. The Braxton family is now more separated than ever due to the psychological effects of the credit card scandal. According to sources, Tony and Trina are supposedly trapped in a neutral zone because they are afraid that their personal finances would be the subject of the next audit. According to the allegations, Tamar's choice to go to the feds was a survival strategy to save both her $8 million solo deals and her credit score, which had allegedly fallen as a result of the illegal behavior. Watching a woman like Towanda, who always took pride in being the family's secret weapon, be paraded through the rumor mill as a common identity thief, is an evocative horror for spectators. One thing is certain, as the first half of this fallout comes to an end. The paper trail leads directly to a jail cell, and the management trap has snapped shut. Midway through January 2026, the Braxton family's financial story reached a breaking point. A much darker cloud was building over Towanda Braxton's head as fans were still recovering from the drama surrounding the credit card caper. To comprehend we must examine the 2019 paper trail in light of the current 2026 crisis. In her well-known Chapter 7 bankruptcy filing, Towanda claimed to have only $150 in her checking account and an astounding $547,000 in obligations. That filing was viewed for years as a desperate attempt at a new beginning. However, rumors indicate that the FBI has closed the books as of 2026 and isn't searching for debt. They are searching for fraud. According to the sources, claims that Towanda concealed assets during the 2019 filing are being looked into by federal auditors. Assets that were purportedly concealed within the corporate structures she and her sisters shared. When a financial reset turns into a federal felony, you can feel a frightening feeling of fear. The FBI is allegedly concentrating on companies like Big Toe Incorporated and the T. Braxton Beauty Company, according to sources close to the bankruptcy court. According to rumors, even though Towanda claimed to be bankrupt, she was allegedly using these shell corporations to channel entertainment revenue in order to support a lifestyle that the bankruptcy was meant to eradicate. The rumor that Tamar's forensic accountants were the ones who first noticed the disparities is a source of ambient horror for the Braxton family. According to the reports, Tamar's team discovered records of income throughout their sister fights that never showed up on Towanda's bankruptcy schedules, including royalties and consultancy payments that were purportedly sent to private or offshore digital wallets. There are rumors that the handcuffs were a result of the bankruptcy fallout. According to reports, Towanda's 2019 file was a tactical deceit intended to avoid paying a $76,000 fraud judgment, according to federal authorities, to a former landlord and a personal loan of $35,000 from Tamar. According to rumors, the federal government has been monitoring every dollar from Braxton Family Values and the new Braxton series for the past 24 months. When it was revealed that the FBI had raided a Snellville house connected to Towanda in search of high-value items, including jewelry, luxury bags, and concealed cash, that she allegedly neglected to declare to the trustee, the tension in the air reached a fever pitch. The Atlanta elite has been shocked to learn that the family's secret weapon was allegedly operating a double ledger. The murmurs claim that because this isn't simply about one sister, the story remains complex. According to the claims, the FBI is investigating whether Towanda's income was washed by other family members. According to the rumors, Tamar's choice to surrender her own documents was a way out of jail and a way to avoid being exposed as a co-conspirator in a bankruptcy fraud plan. The atmosphere has completely changed from one of helpful sisterhood to one of every woman for herself. Fans are taken aback, because Towanda has always advocated for integrity and boundaries. However, it appears from the federal documents that she broke the law in order to maintain the Braxton brand. As her trial date in 2026 approaches, Towanda is said to be completely alone due to the psychological effects of being audited by her own blood. The atmosphere surrounding the Braxtons has shifted from reality TV to a federal prison as the financial wrath increases. According to sources, Towanda's own social media posts from 2024 and 2025, in which she was spotted around the world and attending upscale events, are being used by the feds as proof that her insolvency was a hoax. According to the discussion, the FBI's case is based on the lifestyle's receipts. How are you going to plan a Bridgerton-style bridal shower and direct independent films with 150? The realization that the GWAT of the family may have founded her new existence on federal perjury is the ambient terror for the spectators. The managerial trap has evolved into a legal cage by the end of Section 2. The hidden weapon has officially failed for Towanda Braxton. This script, which focuses on the alleged conflict between the Braxton sisters and the 2026, will see a change in the atmosphere towards a federal investigation. The Braxton family camp's atmosphere has changed in a terrible way, with unsettling similarities to the publicity shield strategies that have recently been observed in the hip-hop industry. Fans are referring to this as the Rima and Papoose impact on social media. The point at which a long-standing ride-or-die loyalty is revealed as a strategic triangulation tactic. The 2026 fallout is reportedly more than a sisterly argument. The infrastructure of the Braxton family has completely collapsed. According to the rumors, Tamar Braxton went from being a victim of family theft to being the federal government's main whistleblower. The ultimate GWAT move is this one: deciding that she must permanently destroy the family bridge in order to preserve her own legacy. When a sorority becomes a state witness, there is a startling lack of safety. There was a clinical and chilly vibe on set in late 2025, according to people close to the production of the next season of Braxton's. According to the rumors, Tamar started triangulating her sisters and isolating Towanda with cease and desist orders and legal threats. According to the talk, Towanda felt taken aback when she discovered Tamar was allegedly meeting with investigators in private rather than just ranting at her on TV. The realization that the lady who shared her crib is now the one who may be wearing a wire is the atmospheric horror of this treachery. Fans are astonished since the Braxtons peddled sisterly unity and black love to the globe for 20 years, but the 2026 receipts indicate that the unity was purportedly a front for a financial conflict that lasted for decades. It's being whispered that Towanda called the police on Tamar first in an attempt to stop the attack. According to the claims, Towanda tried to have Tamar taken from a family gathering during a complete breakdown, claiming that Tamar's mental health problems were making the setting dangerous. However, rumors indicate that this attempt backfired by involving the authorities in the family dynamic. Towanda allegedly provided Tamar with the ideal opportunity to approach the federal authorities. With frightening rapidity, the mood changed from a depressing family feud to a real crime documentary. The knowledge that Tamar is being portrayed as the other sisters, Tony, Trina, and Miss Evelyn, are completely paralyzed by the whistleblower who is cleaning up the family. When both the accused and the accuser are members of your own family, who do you defend? The murmurs claim that because the family's mother and company manager are involved in the triangulation, the story remains complex. According to the discussion, Tamar has been cleaning up her online background, deleting any posts that indicate she was close to Towanda and substituting them with statements about truth and emancipation. According to the sources, Tamar sees herself as the sacrifice, the sister who had to reveal the fraud in order to safeguard her future and her 8 million transactions. However, the subsequent digital assassination is Towanda's ambient horror. Towanda's image as a responsible sister has been supplanted with a scammer narrative since the 2026 FBI rumors surfaced, which she allegedly attributes to Tamar. The third portion of the reckoning is this. The only person still alive at the sisterhood is the one who contacted the police, making it a legitimate crime scene. This triangulation's psychological toll has become unbearable. References assert that Tamar allegedly informed her sisters, "I don't get paid to lie for y'all anymore," during a recent private family meeting. The rumor implies that this was the last betrayal that destroyed Miss Evelyn's heart. The Braxtons are no longer a family, according to the atmospheric reality of 2026. They are an assortment of legal rights. The fan base has become divided after learning that Tamar is allegedly hiring the FBI as her personal security team against her own sisters. Is Tamar a hero for putting an end to the theft? Or is she a Judas for bringing the federal government into the affairs of a black family? The only thing that is evident as the management trap transforms into a prison cell is that the GWAT is playing for keeps and the harmony has vanished. The rumored rift between the Braxton sisters and the atmospheric shift towards a federal probe in 2026 are the main topics of this drama, which is written in a cinematic breaking news format. The leather shop receipts, a digital record of upscale purchases and transactions that are purportedly the smoking gun in a federal fraud case, are the unsavory aspect of the 2026 Braxton scandal, according to authorities. The feds were apparently creating their own lookbook, while the Globe watched the suspenseful promos for the upcoming season of Braxton, in which Tamar confronted her sisters with cease and desist orders. The FBI's curiosity reportedly rose when they found a trend of unauthorized high-value purchases at exclusive stores and boutiques, allegedly created by Towanda utilizing credit lines connected to Tamar's company accounts. There is talk that these receipts from leather shops are more than simply paper. Towanda is the target of a federal identity presumption case because of these high-definition surveillance moments and digital timestamps. When a sister's shopping habits are turned into a government exhibit, you notice a chilling combination of betrayal and disbelief. According to people familiar with the investigation, the FBI has tracked a number of lifestyle expenses that were purportedly covered by Tamar's American Express card. These expenses range from expensive designer clothing for Towanda's independent film projects to thousands of dollars in business consulting fees that were purportedly transferred into private shell corporations. Tamar's own forensic audit allegedly agreed with the FBI's conclusions, which adds to the situation's atmospheric misery. The conversation implies that it dawned on Tamar that she was losing more than simply money. Someone who knew her social security number by heart was ruining her reputation and credit. The most terrible development in Braxton's history was learning that the family's GWAT was being pursued by federal officials for using her sister's $8 million salary. There are rumors that the feds flipped a former family associate using the leather shop receipts. According to the reports, a senior Braxton beauty industry employee has started assisting investigators by supplying internal emails that purportedly show Towanda telling employees to charge money to the business account even though they were aware that Tamar was the only source of funding for those accounts. When there were rumors in early January 2026 that the FBI had subpoenaed the Braxtons' raw film, the atmosphere became extremely tense. According to reports, investigators thought the Malibu cease and desist scene was more than a reality TV farce. It was a court dispute involving real criminal action. The Braxton sisters are in a state of shock after learning that the family reality show's safe haven had turned into a federal evidence locker. Complete panic. According to reports, Towanda's emotional breakdown on social media was caused by the psychological effects of forensic surveillance. Her legal team reportedly told her that the FBI had evidence that she had used Tamar's identity to obtain a high-end lease and a number of hidden assets that she had left out of her 2019 bankruptcy papers. According to the talk, the sisters' attempt to maintain a luxurious facade is symbolized by the leather shop relationship. As the family's financial underpinnings began to deteriorate internally, the mood shifted from depressing family strife to genuine crime thriller, as viewers started to make the connections. Tamar's concealment and absence from Tony's events were not motivated by envy. The reason for this was that, according to reports, she was under witness protection lockdown while the federal government developed their case against her own family. Whispers claim that the reason the narrative remains convoluted is because the receipts purportedly indicate that additional family members might have profited from the scam. According to the allegations, the federal authorities are investigating whether Mama Ilin and Trina Braxton knew that Tamar's compromised accounts were the source of their gifts and business loans. The prospect that the entire Braxton empire was constructed on a managerial trap intended to drain Tamar's prosperity in order to support the family's survival is the ambient dread for the audience. The GWAT is in the spotlight as Part 4 of the reckoning comes to an end. The leather shop invoices and the Fed's files have guaranteed that there won't be any harmony this time, just a definitive decision. By the end of the second week of January 2026, the atmospheric shift in the Braxton legacy had reached its last denouement. The unity that formerly characterized the most well-known sisters in the sterile, icy silence of a federal probe has taken the place of RB. The Braxton brand is reportedly officially in liquidation, both financially and emotionally. According to rumors, the FBI's covert inquiry set off a chain reaction that destroyed the family's heritage. The true drama was taking place in the shadows of Georgia's northern region while the world watched the Braxtons, their most recent reality revival. According to sources, Towanda Braxton is up against a court struggle that could determine the course of the next 10 years of her life. Years on the table for identity theft, fraud, and federal bankruptcy. A terrifying feeling of finality is the kind of shift you see when an empire comes to an end in an FBI audit. Sisterly togetherness was the first thing to be sacrificed. According to people close to the incident, Tamar Braxton has filed for a legal trademark that separates her name and economic interests from any Braxton-related organizations, indicating that she has formally changed her name to Tamar Solo. For fans, the realization that Tamar isn't simply departing a show is the atmospheric terror. According to reports, she is escaping a shadow of the law. According to the sources, Tamar's choice to come forward as a whistleblower was her Independence Day, a last-ditch effort to prevent the seizure of her personal $8 million solo ventures as part of the family's asset dissipation case. The murmurs on Atlanta's streets are icy. The family's GWAT didn't simply quit. While her sisters were still on the bridge, she allegedly blew it up. Rumor has it that Mama Ivelin's legacy has become the last victim of the managerial trap. According to the talk, the family matriarch is upset that her daughters can only speak with powerful defense lawyers. According to the sources, Tamar and Towanda may have received a federal no-contact order, making family gatherings a distant memory. When there were rumors that Toni Braxton had to leave her Las Vegas residence because of the financial strain of funding the family's defense, the tension in the air reached a fever pitch. The industry is in disbelief after learning that the Braxton harmony was purportedly financed by a credit card scammer and covert shell corporations. It's more than just a breakup. A 20-year reputation has been legally and digitally assassinated. The final reckoning has revealed the family's years-long use of triangulation techniques, which is why the story remains complex, according to the whispers. According to the conversation, Towanda feels like the sister who stayed behind to control the mayhem while Tamar constructed a stronghold, the Autumn Girl. According to the sources, Towanda's legal team is putting together a defensive lecture, claiming that every financial decision she took was part of a bigger family strategy that Tamar used to be a part of. However, the atmospheric reality of 2026 is that family strategy is unimportant to the federal government. The receipts from the leather shop are important to them. Major networks have reportedly blacklisted the Braxton family from future unscripted programs after realizing that their name has become a legal concern. An era of black achievement marred by a government audit is coming to an end. The Braxtons are surrounded by a mournful atmosphere as the ultimate reckoning comes to an end. According to sources, the sisters are ghosts as of January 15, 2026. To each other. According to the rumors, Towanda is getting ready to give up while Tamar gets ready for her next global tour as a lone survivor. For the audience, the loss of the ideal of black love that the Braxtons stood for is the atmospheric horror. What chance is there for the rest if a credit card and a bankruptcy petition can destroy the closest-knit family in the entertainment industry? The GWAT has left. The ultimate decision about the Braxton sisterhood is being written in a courtroom, not a recording studio, and the federal government has the data. The time has passed. The balance is disrupted. And the Braxtons have nothing left to sing about for the first time in 20 years. Equals. A tutorial in the nasty reality of reality TV aristocracy has been offered by the Braxton saga. We've seen the bankruptcy backlash, the credit card scandal, and the FBI probe that has left one of the most well-known families in the business at war. We have witnessed a lady who has sacrificed everything for her sisters come to the realization that the same blood she shielded. We would like to hear from you now. Did you ever anticipate a federal FBI probe after 15 seasons of watching the Braxtons? Do you think Tamar entangled Towanda in this controversy in order to protect her own reputation? Or is Towanda being held responsible for years of financial fraud at last? How do you feel about Tamar switching to Tamar solo? Is she a Judas for putting her family in danger legally, or is she a hero for defending her future? Give up your theories in the remarks section below. Click like and subscribe for more in-depth forensic investigations of the true story behind the celebrity headlines. The official FBI comments and the dates of the Braxton court are being tracked in real time. Understand the receipts instead of just watching the headlines. The truth is the only thing in this circle that cannot be changed, therefore, turn on those alerts.